It's 6:15 or 18:15 if you're normal and use the normal time. And Tadej Pogačar just won the Tour de France. That's definitely not a video I thought I'd make. At least not today. But we need to talk about this. We need to talk about this. What just happened? What just happened in cycling? I mean, what? First of all, before we start talking about anything but Pogačar or anything, I want to share some support for Primož Roglič because he probably hasn't had the greatest Tour de France if we talk about entertainment purposes. A lot of people attacked him and attacked Jumbo for good reasons, for not being offensive enough. But he was in a position this morning where I don't think he believed he could lose the Tour de France. And I don't think many people believed that either. I personally didn't. I expected Pogačar to beat Roglič, yes. But by like 20, 30 seconds, definitely not a minute. The last few days of Primož in the Alps had been genuinely convincing. The Col de la Loze was for me like I know Primož in the third week isn't exactly a good value, but his Col de la Loze performance was genuinely decent, and I thought that he was gonna have it. It's just he looked different today. He looked like he was out of everything. He had no energy. I'm expecting potentially Jumbo to come out with a communique and say that Primož had X or Y issue, which wouldn't shock me. Genuinely, although Tadej's performance is stupendous and out of this world, I didn't expect this to happen. Genuinely, but we're going to talk about Tadej because what he just did today was phenomenal. He's 21 years old. He won the time trial a minute 21 ahead of Tom Dumoulin, 1 minute 56 ahead of Primož Roglič, and if we take a look at the rest of the GC guys, we've got Uran 254 down, Enric Mas 245, Landa 327, Yates 429, Miguel Angel Lopez, who started the time trial in third place of the GC, 40 seconds behind Roglič and a minute 30 ahead of Richie Porte, finished 6 minutes 17 behind Tadej. 6 minutes and 17 seconds. That honestly makes no sense. He's had a San Marino V2. He just had. But what a ride. What a ride. He started the first 14 kilometers very strong. I think he was up by 15 seconds by the first intermediate. And I mean, I felt somewhat confident that that Primož would come back calmly in the second half. He was letting Pogačar tire himself, but the gap never went down. And as soon as the planche started, the gap started to increase by so much. And I've actually got the time of the climbs. So Tadej did la planche, sorry, in 16:10. The second fastest was Richie Porte in 16:32. We'll come back to Richie after that. Wout van Aert was third. Wout van Aert was the fastest Jumbo rider up La Planche des Belles Filles, despite having Primož Roglič and Tom Dumoulin in their team. He did it in 16:52. Then you've got Enric Mas, Bilbao, Daniel Martinez, Richard Carapaz, who loses the polka dot jersey despite doing genuinely nothing in the first 2 minutes. I think he was penultimate at the bottom of La Planche. Then Landa, Soler, Barguil, and then Roglič comes in the 11th fastest time of the climb, 17:31. He lost 1 minute 21 on Tadej on La Planche alone. Meaning you could have done a time trial solely on La Planche. No 30 kilometers before that. Just the 5.6 kilometers of La Planche des Belles Filles, and Tadej Pogačar still would have won the Tour. if we're basing ourselves purely on these numbers. Okay, I know it would not necessarily happen like that, but this is mad. This is mad. I don't think even he expected to win here. I genuinely don't think so. And what he's done was out of this world, and just mad congratulations. Mad congratulations to Tadej, because he's, I mean, I was lost for words in front of my TV, and it's quite rare that I'm like that. It's very rare that I'm in front of my TV and I don't know what to say. For example, I mean, this is a shocking performance by me. I mean, taking an L whilst wearing the yellow jersey on the Tour de France on La Planche de Belfi looks like it's a common thing today, because if you missed the Tour de France FDG episode, you probably would know about that. But yeah, that's it for Tadej and Primož. We're going to move out of the Slovenians to talk about Richie. What man? What a man. Uh, we all know Richie Porte is always that unlucky guy, always has that one or two incidents. I mean, we're talking about a guy who, for years, has been a very decent Grand Tour rider as a teammate, mainly for Ineos. He's only got 3 top 10s on Grand Tours in his life, and his first one, I believe, was in 2010 on the Giro. So since 2010, he's had 3 top 10, and I think his best result was a top 5. He just lives for being unlucky, and I think a lot of people got scared when it came to the Plateau de Glières, when he had that puncture, sorry, because it just didn't. It just, I mean, it felt like history was repeating itself over and over again, always having that issue, always being there, making a mistake. Well, no making a mistake actually, but having faith, kind of like destroying him. And I'm so so happy for him. You have genuinely no idea how happy I am for this man. Um, I mean, yesterday I put on Twitter my predictions, and I didn't go ballsy at all. My predictions were somewhat safe. No big changes. I think the only one I had Caruso in the top 10, and I had Dumoulin to gain positions, which I think everyone had. But there was a part of me that was like, hold up. The last time Miguel Angel Lopez did a mountain time trial, it was on the Giro, and he got absolutely battered. And he had been battered by Roglič. I think he had lost 4 minutes. I felt like Richie had something to do. But man, Richie walked on that time trial. He finished tied with Tom Dumoulin. When was the last time we saw Richie Porte that strong? Genuinely. Because I have no idea. I have no idea when was the last time we saw Richie this strong. But God, does it feel good. God, does it feel good. Because this man deserves it for everything he's done, both for Ineos or for Sky, for BMC. I mean, he was caught up in the incident with Chris Froome when he had to run on the Ventoux. It's just phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, that's Richie third of the Tour de France, his first podium. I believe he's like 35 now, 35, 36. I think 35. I think I think he's a guy from January, but don't quote me on that. But yeah, 35, his first podium. Just so deserved. He might be joining Team or Ineos Grenadiers next year. I'm not sure if that's confirmed, but if he joins them as a teammate, at least he'll have his Tour de France podium. And what more can you ask, genuinely, when you're that old? I don't know, not that old cycling wise, obviously. Um, but then I also want to talk about one other guy in that top 10, and that's Damiano Caruso, because he has been acting as a teammate for Landa, genuinely for the entire tour. We saw mainly that stage on the Col de la Loze where they all paced just to see Landa cracking after 7 kilometers, well, with 7 kilometers to go, which was shocking. And what a time today by Caruso. I think he finishes just behind Remy Cavagna, which also matters, genuinely matters. Congratulations to Remy for being an absolute genius today. But Caruso, because of that, jumps in the top 10 of the Tour de France and makes it to Bahrain in the top 10 with Mikel Landa. and Caruso. It's mad. But he's done bits. He's done genuinely bits. So congratulations to Caruso. Not much really to say. Just very solid time trial. Didn't necessarily expect it from him. But I mean, Wout van Aert, we really need to talk about Wout van Aert. I don't know what to say about Wout van Aert. I don't know how this man is doing this. Because Tadej's performance, out of this world, as I've mentioned a lot of time. Wout van Aert. Wout van Aert was the third fastest on La Planche de Belfi. Do we need to mention that this guy is not a climber? Or at least by, I mean, specialty, he's not meant to be a climber. He doesn't suit the physical, the typical body of a climber. And to see him just there in third place, in third quickest, and I think fourth of the time trial, or maybe fifth, no, fourth. What? How? This just was incredible. Just, I don't know what to say about him. I don't know what to say about Van Aert. I don't think. I feel like maybe if he wants to, if he put his minds to it, he might one day become a GT guy. Although I'm not sure that's where you want to focus in a Jumbo team where you've got Krojvac, Roglic, Dumoulin, and Sepkus. But I feel like today's episode will have a massive impact on Primož Roglic. Like, I feel like it could potentially scar him. Although I mean, he's got one blockade gone because he knows he can win a Grand Tour. He's done that already, but he could easily turn into a Thibaut Pinot kind of rider, where he's gonna have that one bad day now on the Tour or on the Grand Tour and prevent him from winning something. I really hope it doesn't happen for his sake, because he genuinely looks like a cool guy and very down to earth, really respectful. Like, first thing he did after, well, realizing he lost the Tour de France was to go and congratulate Tadej, and it was just nice to see. It was just very nice to see. So on that end, I can't really disrespect Tadej for just being a G. That's genuinely it. But I mean, we're nearing the end of this. I don't know, recap. I'll do a Tour de France recap soon. I don't know when, but soon. I need to print UAE flags behind me and a picture of Tadej Pogačar wearing the yellow jersey first. But yeah, I mean, Tadej Pogačar has won the Tour de France. Let that sink in. Last season, Egan Bernal won the Tour, and a lot of pundits and a lot of people on the internet, we all know that internet has the greatest minds of all time, because I'm on air, but everyone said that the next 10 years will be Bernal. Of course, this year Bernal couldn't really defend his title, alright, granted. But what we've seen today from Tadej makes me genuinely scared. Because we're going to have a battle in the next 10 years of Pogačar, Bernal, Evenepoel. Right, maybe not 10 years, because Bernal is Colombian. We never know what Colombians can do in the long run. But minimum 5 years. It's mad. It's genuinely mental. And you know that you'll have a few riders still trying to go for a GC. You're going to have the likes of maybe a Yates, a Carapaz. I'm getting absolutely battered by Roglic, by the way. Which, I mean, Roglic is getting his revenge on PCM. I've been times 18 the entire way as well. That's very much my bad. But I mean, the rest of the Tour de France and the future of the Tour de France is in good hands. It's in really good hands. No weird winners like we've had on the Vuelta or on like the Giro, for example. I mean, we had Chris Horner on the Vuelta. I'm trying to think of an odd winner on the Giro. I can't think of one in the recent 10 years. Yeah, no, I can't think of one. But like Vuelta, we've had weird winners: Kobo Sebo, Corner, Chris Horner, sorry. And the Tour de France could have headed in that way with like a different winner every year, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But now you may have different winners every year, but actually challenging each other. And do you know that next season you're gonna have two armadas in Ineos and Jumbo fighting for the #1 spot, which will be held by Tadej Pogačar, is scary, but I'm extremely eager to be on that Tour de France. I'm extremely eager to see what's going to happen because these guys just made me want to see more of them. They've done bits. And yeah, there's one more stage tomorrow. I don't expect to see anything changing, although I did say, I mean, I was thinking about the same thing yesterday. But if something happens on the Champs-Élysées stage, then something has gone royally wrong. And yeah, I'll just take a recap on the top 10 of the Tour de France. Tadej Pogačar wins the 2020 Tour de France, 59 seconds ahead of Primož Roglič, 3:30 ahead of Richie Porte, 5:58 on Mikel Landa. Very good performance by Mikel Landa. Could have lost a few positions today, but he didn't. He held on to his rank. Fair play to him. Also fair play to Enric Mas. Fair play to Enric Mas, the Spaniard getting 5th place. I haven't really said too much about him, but he looked very strong in the final days on this Tour de France. Valverde, him, and Marc Soler as well had looked genuinely in shape. And I think it's good for Enric Mas because he had the hype of finishing second, I think, on the Vuelta with De Koninck. He never really lived up to the expectation, but he's still young. I think he's 25, and that's a top 5 on the Tour de France for him. One of the big losers today in Miguel Angel Lopez, finishing in 6th position, 6:47 behind Tadej Pogačar. He's lost 6 minutes 17 today. That's the second biggest loss for a GC leader today after Alejandro Valverde, who lost 6:26, and I don't really consider Valverde to be a GC leader anymore. But 6:17, that's massive. In 7th place, we've got Tom Dumoulin, who jumped 2 riders, I believe. First one being Rigoberto Urán. Honestly, I will not lie. I really expected Rigo to do a lot worse today. I expected Rigo to do a lot worse. I've seen his shape in the past few days, and it just wasn't here. I think it's stage 18 where he gets dropped in the Plateau de Glia with 7 kilometers to go, and at this point, I was like, okay, yeah, nah, he's dead. He's dead. He's got nothing left. The Tour de France, he's just gonna crumble. But fair play to him for recovering and maintaining a top 10 position. Sure, that's not what Oran was there for. I don't think he'll ever have the legs to achieve anything higher anymore on the Tour de France. Following him is former yellow jersey Adam Yates. Again, can't really say much about Adam Yates. He's done his thing. He's at the yellow. Didn't expect to wear the yellow. I think he'll be happy with this Tour de France. And in 10th position is Damiano Caruso, 40 minutes down, who jumped Valverde today to clinch that top 10 position. Also very props to Guillaume Martin, first Frenchman. Obviously, I have to back my Frenchies. It wasn't the greatest of tours for us, far from that. But 11th place for him. I think he'll be happy with that. Valverde in 12th. Carapaz, who loses the polka dot, in 13th. Warren Barguil and Sepkus to round up the top 15. And yeah, I still haven't come to terms with what happened today. I think he'll settle in as the night continues, I guess, or as the evening continues. That was my first also attempt, I guess. It's not really a podcast, is it? But my first attempt at a race recap. Please let me know what you thought of it. I'm just doing this on the fly. I've got nothing prepared, nothing ready. So it might seem a bit B-tech, but I feel like it's more natural. So just let me know what you thought of it. If you never want me to do one again, fair enough. I can't complain with it. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow for the final stage of my Tour de France playthrough with FDG. And then I'll see what I'll do on Monday. Maybe I'll take a rest day because I've been uploading for 3 weeks straight. But it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you guys. Have a wonderful day. Big up Tadej Pogačar. Go send him love on Twitter at Tamao Pogi. He's not even verified as well. But yeah, the Tadej propaganda has begun. Have a wonderful evening. My name has been Blackwall, and goodbye.
Pull up in the gold, I'm leading. But them other man need feeding. I don't wanna go Bombay. Them I don't know what I do when I go from Wheeling. Leading the pack in black and I'm on with a bat. Snapping with a phone and die. Boss up a man with a duster. Put him in the drip and sip blockbuster.